The Mojave seems to be especially quiet today. This is John Cabot, but if you played Fallout 4, you might know him as Jack Cabot. He's a scientist from the good days of pre-war era, but was active way longer than we could even imagine, and that would be since the year 1894. Cabot also mentions his father's work in Arabia, where he found an ancient artifact that grants the whole family this immortality. Currently, he's searching for an ancient city that is buried somewhere under the Mojave Desert, according to his father's findings. But without a proper machine, it's impossible to sense any kind of signal that will help us locate the ancient city. Cabot assumes the city was built by our more advanced predecessors, or maybe even by a very different alien race. But we cannot prove this theory, so we set out to Vegas trying to contact some experienced prospectors. One of them is in Gomorrah, the Tower of Sin. Usually I shoot this whole place up once I enter, but today I'm here for business.
So what are you doing here? Looking for some, company, like everyone else?
Marley is the one who could fill our checklist, but after we tell him about the scientist, he becomes hesitant and turns the job down. I got up, and before I would start looking for new candidates, he stopped me and shared his advice with me. Looks like we have no other choice but to look for other prospects in Ultralux. They seem rather friendly and open to business. The more talkative one is Jules Turner. He's one of the best prospectors you can find, or at least he says so.
Well, I don't have much of a story. People call me when they need something found. I track down lost items, stolen items, rare items, people. Hell, I could find you a gecko with a god complex, so long as the price is right.
We agree upon the deal and decide to meet somewhere less crowded, so we can start our discussion. Turns out this was a trap. Marley was right about the strip after all. Now it's either them or us. What's this? It's a holotape, and after listening to it, it just makes one freeze in a moment. They were waiting for outsiders that could be lured to the isolated hall just to be killed and then served as dinner by the White Glove Society. These were no prospectors, only butchers. That leaves only one casino we haven't visited, the Tops. Up in the theater is sitting a man clothed in a long coat. Without even a proper introduction, he joins our little scavenge hunt and heads to the camp. Later on, Cabot tells us Richard is in fact a really good detective. In the meantime, he also managed to get most of the important parts for the machine, but it's still missing 3 key components: polished reflector, high-powered coil, and a signal focuser. I decided to start with the reflector that is currently in the hands of local Vipers gang leader Pattinson. They have built a metal settlement inside a giant cave complex, and I really like the looks of this area. All of the different parts of the city were seamlessly inserted into an interior area like this cave. Of course, we are not welcome here, so the whole place quickly turned up into a hot mess of blood and guts. Reading some lore, it seems they worshipped the Great Serpent as their god to guide their journey, and even made a sacrificial pit for it. But the pit lost most of its meaning after the rulership of Pattinson. Instead, it became an arena to test the abilities of newcomers to see if they are worthy of joining the Serpent Brotherhood. I killed their champion and took his place instead, and found a reflector. Further down on our list there's a high-powered coil held by a businessman Milworth that can trade it with us. But he's looking for an ancient, most likely irradiated vine that is guarded by none other than the Vine Wasters. Seriously, who comes up with names like these? Their fort is surprisingly close to Jacobstown and the nearby ranger station, but that's about everything there is to mention, since we are here for the wine. With the wine in my hand and my alien blaster, I venture through the cave entrance and make it to Millworth. The transaction runs smoothly until the canyon is raided by the winemakers. Thankfully my favorite skill is the same as Todd's: speech.
These NPCs are not scripted.
We tell the raiders that Millworth is about to drink the whole bottle, and without any further questions they run into the canyon to find him, before it's too late. And we safely make it out. Our last stop is in Steep Falls Cave, located near the Cottonwood Cove, where we find this mysterious glowing mushroom. Getting closer to it makes us hallucinate, and after a while wake up near an altar, only sheathed in rags, holding a large blade. This could be the place where Cabot's father originally found the ancient artifact. Approaching the altar and interacting with the token, we discover what looks to be a tale older than time that describes the last moments of tyrant ruler Calf Lamar, that was slain by a nameless hero. With his death, he promises his return to this world, when the people will already forget about this prophecy. It's hard to tell if we are right now experiencing the journey of the hero, or the return of Calf Lamar in the present. But with this being a hallucination, I would assume this is going to be during his return. And we are inside his crypt. It's a multi-layered dungeon in our case, but it's very well put together with its own little puzzles that shift the whole interior of the dungeon itself. It's also guarded by the zealots of Calf Lamar, armed with incinerators and greatswords. The holes shift and bend at our commands and leads us to the main chamber.
Intruder. Begone from Cathlava's pedestal.
If I didn't have as many stimpaks as I had, this whole fight would be much harder. Calf Lamar has been defeated. The world is saved. You feel a faint force tugging you back to the real world. I return to the camp and deliver all of these components, but the shipment of scrap electronics hasn't arrived yet.
Can I order a shipment of scrap electronics? The caravan must be running late. Don't worry, we'll take care of it.
Cabot then orders us to check on Gerald and see what's wrong with the caravan.
Oh, I'm incredibly sorry. I completely forgot. I'll get right on it. Just one more drink. Say, why don't I just send Poolsy over? Poolsy, I need you to deliver that shipment of scrap electronics to the old house to the north, you know, where Richard's staying. Now where was I? Yes, Garrett, another drink, please. Here I go again.
Hopefully we will be able to finally repair Cabot's machine with the caravan, and looks like there's still some more work to do. The caravan was attacked by the Vipers and the Vine Wasters. Richard was hurt during the fight and tells us that Cabot was taken hostage into a nearby toy factory. I honestly hate this place because I got stuck here for like half an hour. It's a freaking maze. At the end of this, we get quite impressive camera animation that took me off guard, and the conflict between those factions is about to blow up. But I managed to talk them down and peacefully resolve this situation, rescuing Cabot in the process. Outside we are nearly shot by our buddies, but after that we are pleasantly greeted. I told them about everything, and Gerald wants to take over a nearby camp of Vipers as a revenge. This was really simple, because Vipers, or at least the leader here, likes to deal with things formally, and they would like to sign a contract with Gerald. After that, Gerald takes over the camp.
You should know that I spent many a month ruminating over this design. It's what I'm... And here it is. Majestic, isn't it? Well, I can't say I've seen anything like it before.
With all that done, we can now return to the camp and try to catch this signal Cabot wanted to track down in the first place. The signal leads us to the Dead Prospect Cave, known for luring and trapping prospectors inside only because of a rumor. There is some kind of a treasure waiting for anyone who dares to enter it. Our fate seems to face a similar end, but luckily for us the bunker door opens and reveals the true origin of this place. It's a Chinese base. Back in the toy factory, we could notice an exchange of emails and signs of major explosions that were planned out by those spies to start chaos inside the country. Now the bunker is overrun by the omertas that have made this maze their home. You can tell from the modding perspective there went a lot of work into this place. Just look how complex it is with all these custom textures and models. We continue through the dungeon until we get outside into a canyon that is guarded by even more soldiers. Looks like we need to get to that tower. Taking them from afar with my sniper rifle seems like the only viable option with how many of them there are in front of the entrance.
Right now I should be hiding in a corner or begging you for mercy, right?
Turns out Vito's been here long before us and tracked all of our movements in the desert.
Works so well, doesn't it? There's still tricks up my sleeve.
Lucifer's balls. Richard!
I couldn't stand another word. Going back home.
And Richard wants to take over the Chinese base himself now. But you can just persuade him not to. Jesus, how many more times is he going to get up?
And then you'll be
Retribution.
Well, turns out Major Corey that was working with Vito had a plan of his own. He wants to take over the Mojave and become the new president of New Californian Republic. The problem is, if he doesn't get enough votes, he will become one by force. Unfortunately for him, before he could even continue his plan, he is shot by one of the snipers from below.
Take cover. For God's sake, we really have to stop standing in the open like that. I'll have to use the failsafe. It hasn't been field tested yet, but it's our best shot. Stay close to me. Oh, for God's sake! I have a few things I must do. You can stay in here as long as you like. When you're ready to leave, just use the device. One last thing. I never did tell you my real name. Knowing it may not be very significant to you, but I think you should nonetheless. Jack Cabot.
And that's
nice
the
to
end
meet
of
you.
Cabot's quest. Later on we get this fancy ending slide room, where all of the characters we have encountered come out to the stage to share their fates with us. I enjoyed playing it for most of the time, although sometimes it was hard to tell what were the motivations of some characters. All of these characters were also voiced by only one guy, and that being the mother himself. But in some parts I couldn't even tell it was the same person.
having extricated himself.
Surprisingly, nothing really backed out for me for the entire playthrough.
Many of those who did not
Well, except for Major Corey not wanting to go to the balcony where he starts monologuing. That's actually an easy fix. Just click on him and in the console type reset AI, so really functional and impressive mod. And it also took almost 4 hours to finish, so that is pretty expensive mod for one person to make, and I would recommend you to try it out.